Hey guys, welcome back. It's Adam Hammond. Having a little technical issues. This is the first time we've ever done one of these split screen interviews. We're doing it with somebody in Athens, Georgia right now, Watkinsville, Georgia. And so it's just we're figuring this whole thing out. This time it should work though. We got the settings down right and we're waiting on Chris to call us. We're going to split screen him in. I'm going to turn you sideways real quick so I can hopefully see the people joining us. And as soon as we start that, I'll give you a little feedback, a little bit of info about what we're doing, who we're talking about, and why we're doing this. So I'm from this town called Watkinsville, Georgia. It's in Oconee County, Georgia. It's a bedroom of Athens. It's about an hour east of Atlanta. Have people joining. Hold on one second. It's about an hour east of Atlanta, and it's a great place. It's a perfect small town. I'm multitasking right now, so be patient. Looking for Chris to pop up. And thanks for joining us, and thanks for your patience, guys. It'll be just 1 second. There he is. Okay. Athens. Oh,
All right.
town, Watkinsville, and he's got an amazing story. It's going viral right now on Facebook. I'll let Chris tell you some more about that. But first of all, Chris, your mom just passed away. So sorry for everything your family's going through. And just so we can kind of honor her spirit in this whole change, just tell
Right.
you went through.
Yeah. So my mom was 66 years old. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 6 years ago, and she struggled through with some ups and downs through battling that disease. And so my mom and dad actually just moved to Watkinsville or at the Athens area now it's almost been two and a half, 3 months ago, but they were living in Watkinsville for only 5 or 6 weeks, and my mom just started progressively getting worse. And so we actually admitted her into the hospital about 6 weeks after they moved here, and they ended up finding out that it was not just Parkinson's she had, but they believed she had a combination of about 3 different diseases, which was Parkinson's, Lewy body dementia, as well as something called dystonia. Now, some of that was all foreign to me, although I researched it now and I understand what a lot of that is. But the Lewy body dementia is a lot more progressive in the way it attacks the brain, and that was what caused the sudden onset of her starting to have some delusional type things in her mind, some hallucinations. And then also it attacks your physical ability, where your brain has basically a short circuit and cannot communicate correctly with your legs or other parts of the body. And then your muscles become very rigid and cause her to the hospital and then we eventually brought her home when she passed. So,
As you were mentioning earlier, it's the same situation that Robin Williams had, in his system. He was dealing with Lewy body dementia as well, which is what your mom was dealing with. And when you have something like that, they're impacted with, Alzheimer's in their family or some really debilitating disease, and they need help. They need help in the house and those providers, which kind of brings us to this, because a lot of people recognize your face and they know you. Oh, did we lose him? We lost him. Let me invite him. Hold on. Let me invite him back real quick. Invite to broadcast. So,
yeah, sorry about that.
recognizing you right now because of the surprised her home health care provider, her nurse's assistant, with a check for nursing school, because that's something that I guess she had wanted to pursue in her life. Tell us about that. How did that whole thing come about? And you guys have a connection prior to that. Explain.
Yeah, so the way it happened is 3 years ago, my family and I were headed to church, and we were, probably, and we're pulling off one of the exits. Our church that we go to is called Cornerstone Church. It's over in the East Athens area. And so we're traveling to church, and we're about to get off the exit to go to church. And I see this lady that's looks like a car is broken down. She's got a gas can though, and she's starting to walk up the exit ramp. And so my wife and my kids, we passed by. And as we passed by, I told my wife, I said, "Oh, that just breaks my heart." And so we're going to, on the way to church, and I just told my wife, I said, I just feel like, there's something inside. The Holy Spirit's just telling me, I need to go back and help this lady. And so I go and I drop my kids off at church. On the way back to pick her up, I don't normally do that. I do give sometimes, but very rarely do I actually pick somebody up and give them a ride anywhere. But I just knew for whatever reason that the Lord had said, that's just something you need to do in this instant. And so I pulled up beside her. It's actually starting to rain a little bit at that point, and I just asked her if she needed some help, and she said, she seemed kind of, in distress, and she said, yeah, I would. I said, well, hop on in, let's go, and we'll help you get some gas. She'd run out of gas, and so we get to the gas station, and we fill her, little gas can up, and it wasn't much, and I kind of said, well, that's not going to get you far, and we're talking, and she's kind of telling me her story. She had recently gone through a divorce, had kind of fallen on some hard times financially, and so I just felt the Lord tugging at my heart even more at that point, and just thought, well, let's get you back to your car, get some gas, and when we got her there, she started sharing some more about some things she'd been through, and so I said, well, this isn't much, but the Lord said, just give her whatever you have, and at that point, I think it was $40 in my pocket is what it was, and so I gave that to her. She started to cry. It was just, I could just tell how genuine and how appreciative she was. She praised the Lord right then in the car as well, and just thanked Him. And she got in her car, went her way, and I went to church, and never really thought I'd, may not run into her again. And fast forward 3 years, our paths do cross again. And the crazy thing about it.
So tell me how.
Yeah.
How did that come about when you have this chance encounter with her? And my wife's number one question, like, why did he stop? Because a lot of times people, we just don't think to stop in instances like that, but you're saying you were just led to. So then when you see her again, what goes through your mind?
Well, so my mom was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then we were able to bring her home, but we knew that we weren't going to, my dad and our family, we weren't going to be able to care for her by ourselves. We were going to need help. My dad had made a promise to my mom a long time ago that he would not send her into a nursing home, that he would do everything he could to keep her at home. And that was his promise to her. And he was able to fulfill that. And so we brought her home, and my wife and I were working on trying to develop a schedule to bring some nursing aides and or nurses in to really help care for my mom at that point. So my dad was there. I wasn't even there the first time that Tunde showed up at the house. She wasn't even supposed to be there, as a matter of fact. She showed up because another nurse's aide had to cancel. And so she came in, cared for my mom. My mom really loved her at that point. My dad just, he called me afterwards and said, Chris, I don't know what it is about this lady, but I just feel better when she's around. And so he said, when y'all are setting these people up to come into our house, we want her involved as much as possible. Now, she has a regular job as well, so this was going to be after hours in the evening and maybe the weekend or on Saturday. And so I got her number, started texting her. We were trying to get some stuff set up. When can you work? Trying to piece. And so invited her over within the next couple of days to sit down and just kind of talk to her, interview her, and tell her what we needed, and hopefully be able to explain to her, what we wanted as caregivers could give her, and then I asked her what she was available to do. And so in the process, she ended up telling me her mom was a local pastor, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." I said, "Because that was one thing we we're going to ask you. We'd love for you to read the Bible, maybe pray with my mom on instances when you get a chance." And she said, "Oh, I'd love to." And she asked us, she said, "So where do y'all go to church?" And we said, "Well, we go to Cornerstone Church over in Athens." And she just stopped me. She said, "I met the nicest man from Cornerstone one day." And I said, "Well, really?" I was like, "Maybe I know him." I'm thinking, I'm listening to the story. And she starts telling me, "Yeah, this man drove by with his family. I had ran out of gas, and I was down on my luck at the time. And he circles back around, comes back, picks me up, fills my gas can up, and gives me all the money he's got in his pocket, like $40." And I'm just going, and tears kind of starting, And I said, "Tunde, that was." And she said, "Take your hat off." I had my hat turned around backwards. We were just chatting, and she just, "Oh my gosh, it is you." And we both just start crying and just couldn't believe that God had woven those fibers and, everything together to bring her back to bless me after what had happened 3 years ago, and had no idea our paths would ever cross again. So just a crazy story.
Yeah, it really is crazy. And for people just joining us, because we've had a lot of people jump on, we're talking to going around Facebook from my hometown, Watkinsville, Georgia, and he actually he helped a lady years ago, or years ago, I guess, and she came back and she was his mother's home health care provider. And then that brings us to the next part of the story. You guys were, this experience, I imagine it just helped so much that she was, in a way, seemed to be placed in your life for this really hard, challenging season. And you guys wanted to help her out at the end of that. So tell me about that.
Well, yeah, I think, too, the thing that through this story, we're going through a difficult situation with my mom passing, and she was really sick at the time and eventually passing, is that, my mom was really good at always telling me to look for the good in other people, to always help and love people, be kind, make a new friend, just good stories and good things she taught me as I was growing up. And Carmen and I, and my dad and my sister, as we sat in there with my mom, is, we all understand we don't live in a perfect world, but the one thing we held on to is that we do serve a perfect God, though. And we just knew that, all things aren't good, but we just held on to the promise that, and it's like in Romans where he says that, things aren't good, but everything does work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And so, it makes me almost cry when I think about that. But I mean, it was just something that we were through this situation. There's something good that will come from it, and we were already seeing some fruits of that through being Tunde. And then the way she cared for my mom throughout that next week, and it was just the quality of care, the compassion, the dignity that she tries to instill with somebody that was losing, knows that they're getting towards the end of their life. And has for those types of folks is just something I could never imagine to have experienced. So just awesome.
So you asked for instead of flap, check, and I assume you finish. She is so full of joy, and there that in the world to her in that moment. So how did you get? And we're still collecting money for that, right?
Yes, we are. I mean, the first thing is that I can't remember if I said that or not. When 3 years ago, when I gave Tunde the little amount of money that I had at that point, the first thing she did was praise the Lord. And so, the Lord is all over her life, and she is just so genuine in the way she acts. And when we were going to be able to give this money to her, Carmen and I both said, we're going to have to video it because we're going to catch some very raw emotion and just see the genuineness in her heart. And I just want to go back just one more thing, because during this week that my mom is laying in that bed suffering, and we're watching this, unfold, the nurse the nurses come in on Wednesday before Tunde gets there, and they basically tell us that your mom's going to pass away today. And we're like, okay, you know, struggling, and, you know, that ups a little bit, but she makes it through the day. Tunde comes in that evening, and me and my dad are a little upset, and we're talking, and Tunde says, well, you know, let's go out to the porch, Chris. And so we go on the porch, and we just talk about, you know, everything. My mom, you know, the Lord, you know, we talk about different things. And she said, you know, I didn't want to tell you this, but, you know, since what the nurses have been telling you, she goes, the Lord revealed to me that your mom's going to pass on my birthday, which is Sunday. I said, well, Tony, they're telling me she's going to die today. She said, Chris, I know. I'm just, you know, sharing with you what I believe, you know, he's spoken to my heart. And so then the next Thursday, Friday, the next 5 days, my mom continues to defy the odds. I mean, they tell us every day she's going to pass away. And so by Friday, I'm kind of almost laughing at it. You know, I'm like, no, I said, actually, I didn't say this, but I was thinking, well, no, I know she's going to pass on Sunday. And that's exactly what happened when she passed on Sunday. So, so back to the question about, you know, the $8,000. Yeah, we, you know, again, she's just so genuine. You gotta see the reaction when we present the check. I mean, I can't even begin to express, you know, the way she did. I mean, it's you know, the first thing again she did was give God all the glory, and she can't even believe it's her. She even said that's not mine. And you know, said, yes, it is. And so just a wonderful, wonderful story, though.
Well, it is such, from an outsider looking in, you know, your mom, she's going to get her education now. She's going to touch countless other people that we know nothing about. And your mom's going to be, and her spirit's going to be a part of all of that. So I imagine it's got to have some kind of healing, peaceful effect on you as well to know that.
That's right. And Carmen and I, you know, my wife and again, my dad and my sister were sitting around, we were talking about it. And, you know, it's almost like the Lord used Tunde to basically take the sting out of our grief. And, you know, again, you know, we just stand on the word that God does somehow, you know, for the good of those. And, you know, it's just so evident that, I mean, and, you know, I think the one thing I want to clear is through this whole situation, and we've been careful that we don't deserve really any of the, you know, honor or, you know, the attention that's being thrown around. I mean, because basically the only thing that I did was be obedient to what I felt like the Spirit laid on my heart that day 2 years ago. And after that, it's all, you know, Jesus at that point. And so
yeah. And, you know, we are from a pretty small town, and one of the reasons that I definitely want to get you on here and talk to you is because there are so many people of my friends and family that I've seen share this and talk about this, and every single one of them seem to be, you know, there's this faith and hope and love that's renewed in them, and they want to do something like that for other people. So what do you hope people take away from something like this, and what do you think about, you know, not just a small town, but the entire nation that's going around and people, you know, seeing this story?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I think for us is that my wife did a great job during the eulogy she gave for my mom, and is that, you know, we serve a living God, and you know, again, we don't live in a perfect world, but He is perfect, and, you know, all things are, you know, we can do all things through Him, and it's just a, you know, something that, you know, if you just kind of, I guess, turn that over to the Lord and let Him work through you in whatever way that may be. I mean, I know we're all different. We all have different strengths, but you know, I think it's just the obedience side of, you know, listening and being open-minded to what He's asking you to do. And so.
And it's not over. You can still, last time I checked earlier, it was up to almost $20,000, I think. For education.
Yes, the site is still open. We had some amazing things happen today. We've had a couple of the, you know, national news networks contact us. We got story that's going to be either Thursday or Friday, I believe, on national television. And then, but yeah, the site's still open. It's I think it's called. Let me see. I got it written down. Hold on one second. Let me see what the name of the site is.
I'll post it.
Okay.
I'll post it under here for people too, so they can find it.
Okay.
But like you mentioned, this is going to be on several national news networks.
Right.
So we see so many negative things and so many. Have something. Your family and your mom and Tundi, to have it placed out there on such a big scale, that's got to be. How does that feel?
I don't even know. I mean, it's so. I mean, it's almost like a dream still. I mean, it's but it is, and it's you hear. I mean, I've almost I don't watch a lot of news just because. I mean, sometimes you do get tired of hearing about all the bad and everything that's going wrong in the world, but there's still a lot of good going on. I mean, there is. It's just some of it's, I guess, maybe the negative sells better. But there's a lot of good going on. We always say we believe love heals, love changes. It's going to be cool to see the story, and we'll never know how many lives are touched or changed, but we know that even through this circumstance, sometimes we don't know the plans that God has, that He does, and again, He works through whatever situation you're going through, again to His glory. And I don't know. We're just happy to be used in this situation.
Well, your story is going to impact so many people. Your mom's going to.
That's right. Happy birthday to Carmen. That's right.
Name, and she's.
So yesterday I had a busy day, and I'm usually pretty responsive on my phone or my text, and she's texting me. She's worried to death about me and my dad. That's all she can talk about, and she called me and telling me this, and she's like, Chris, I just wake up all hours of the night. I just can't believe still that it's me. But she said that the Lord said it is you, and you got big plans for you, girl, and you get moving. And she goes, and I'm telling my mom, her mom's a pastor, I told you. She's I was talking to my mom about this. She said, my mom told me though, Tundi, last week was crazy. This week is going to be even crazier. God has even bigger plans. And then about later that afternoon, that's when we get the call from NBC, ABC, now CBS, and it's and so the Lord's favor is just all over her. And her mom obviously, have that gift to really hear clearly from the Spirit, and it's a cool thing, man. She is so worthy, so genuine. I just wish everybody could meet her. We loved her the day we met her, and she's part of our family now. So.
Well, it's such a special story. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for taking time to talk.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, will do. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're just talking to Chris Wright. He's from my hometown, and his video is the viral video. There we go. Their story is going around Facebook right now. It's going to be on the networks, on all the newscasts. NBC was going to be tonight, I think, with Lester Holt. I think he said that's going to be tomorrow night now, so go back and check that out. But yeah, like I was saying before, my hometown, Watkinsville, Georgia, is just one of those places where people watch out for each other, and he's a perfect testament to that. And their story and the love that they shared was so special, and I think it rubs off on people when we see things like that. And another thing that I noticed is he kept talking about Tundi and God speaking to her and being close to God and all these things. And sometimes the way we live our life either puts us closer to God or further away from God. And she's a perfect example of someone who's very in tune because of the way she's living her life. So it should inspire all of us in that way. But watch from the beginning if you joined us late. Chris basically, he helped her 3 years ago on the side of the road. She had ran out of gas. Fast forward 3 years, his mom's dying. She needs a home health care provider. And that person he helped, Tundi, came in. And she was there for them in their hardest time, in their darkest time when they needed her the most. And then they surprised her by getting her education fund started. She wants to go to nursing school, which she's obviously going to do a great job at. And they're asking for donations for that instead of, flowers for his mom's after his mom passed away. And you can still do that. You can donate. I'm going to post the link in the comments section, and so you can check that out. There are a lot of people. I was on a different setting. Everyone for throw a question. Have a question. Maybe request I can answer. I don't know much obviously because I saw the viral video you did. I want to thank my friend Kelly Powell. She helped hook me up with Chris because I grew up with her. We're from the same hometown, and then they're friends from college. And now Chris and his wife live in my hometown. So that's kind of how we were able to come together and get this story out for everyone, because the more people that see this story and this testimony, the more people it's going to help. So please share it. Please let people know about it. The full video of the reveal when they gave Tundi the check, that's down below this video on my page. You can share that. You can find it somewhere else. USA Today, everybody's been sharing it. But send them some love. Give them a heart. Let them know we're thinking about them. And thank you all so much for joining me for this live interview. It was our first one. We had some technical difficulties at first, but we sorted it out. We got Chris in here. And so maybe, hopefully, we can do more of these kind of interviews in the future, because that one was pretty special. But thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great night. Love you guys.